Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my hope and prayer that this video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I'm fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you are watching this particular video from. The county, in case you are inside here, or the country, in case you are outside the Republic of Kenya. Yesterday, Moses Masika Wetangula was elected as the Speaker of the National Assembly, which means today in this country, Moses Masika Wetangula, Weta the fifth, is the third in command after President William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, then Moses Masika Wetangula, Papa wa Roma. And by the way, why do you think he's called Papa wa Roma? Anybody with an idea? At the same time, Amason Kingi, the immediate former governor for Kilifi, was also elected as the Speaker of the Senate. And because those two elections are significant, politically speaking, in this country, I want us to do a critical analysis about the election of Amason Kingi and that of Moses Wetangula as the Speakers of the National Assembly and the Senate. Before we do that, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And I want to make a request to you guys. Please, for this particular video, press that like button, click that thumbs up button now. For those who can, drop your comments, and for those who also can, please share this video. That's the best way you can also support the channel. Now, let us get now to the main issue. Personally, I'm yet to understand why Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga decided to sponsor a candidate for the position of the Speaker of the Senate and that of National Assembly, because it was clear they didn't have numbers. And it was actually embarrassing when Kalonzo Musyoka withdrew from the race. Of course, Wetangula, of course, not Wetangula really, of course, Marende tried, but he didn't go the next stage. So as we speak, we have a new Speaker of the National Assembly and a new Speaker of the Senate. And for me, I learned a lot, because what I do on this channel is that I try to dissect politics and put it into perspective and give it to you so that we can all learn one thing or the other. The first thing I gathered is that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were actually betrayed by members of parliament and by senators. You see, Uhuru and Raila had banked on the support of Azimio members of parliament and Azimio senators. If you look at the voting pattern, at the National Assembly, Weta got 215 votes, while Marende got 130. That's a difference of close to 80 people. Over 80 actually, 85. On paper, Azimio has the majority in parliament. So it means there is around 80 people, 80 voters difference. So assuming we take away those who were elected as independent, how many voted for these guys? So according to projections, there are 28 members of Azimio who voted for Weta. Of course, there are few who would vote based on interest, because politics is about interest. You go to Senate, Kingi got 46. Kalonzo, who did not stand, So which means Out of that, only 21 were Azimio because they walked out. Only 21 people walked out. And that was expected. The betrayal was actually expected for several reasons. Number one, Uhuru Kenyatta delayed in convening parliamentary group meeting. The moment elections were conducted before the Supreme Court ruling, he ought to have organized that meeting. Number two, the fact that William Ruto is now the president of the Republic of Kenya, it means most members of parliament, and I did a video about this, most members of parliament would now want to associate with Ruto. This is the time now for them to swear their allegiance. So the fact is, Raila and Uhuru have already been betrayed by their members of parliament. And I don't know what they are going to do because Ruto is now in power, Raila out of power, Uhuru out of power. If Uhuru could not manage to sustain MPs under Jubilee, and while he was the president, how will he now do the same when he's not the president? Maybe because now he's not busy, he can create them. So that's number one. Number two, the second thing I'm gathering from the elections of the two, I tend to think that William Ruto is now shifting his focus to two regions, Western and Coast. Remember, if you look at Kenya Kwanza or UDA, they produced the presidential candidate who is Ruto. They produced the running mate who is Rigathi Gachagua. Now, the next position which has been filled now is that of the Speaker of the National Assembly, who has gone now to the Luhya Nation and the Coastal region. And why do I believe that he is interested in those? You know, someone like Kingi was not really in Ruto's camp. He joined last minute. And the other day when they were at Karen, I'm told Aisha Jumwa was not happy that Kingi was being given preference. Even my friend Hassan Omar would not be happy if, for example, we'll miss the cabinet secretary slot. But if you look at it politically, with a political lens, you can see that William Ruto is actually keen on winning the support of Coast. Or if not winning the support, he has a strategy of Coastal region. The question is, why would William Ruto have that preference now of Coast and Western? The answer to that is simple. Ruto enjoyed almost near fanatical support in the mountain. In 5 years' time, that is not guaranteed. And because that will not be guaranteed, he must go outside. Because the truth is, and I could be wrong, the truth is, the moment William Ruto will name his cabinet, some people will be left out. I can tell you, there are people who are going to make noise. And for example, I'm looking at the coastal region where there's Mvurya, there's Aisha, then there's Hassan Omar. How is he going to split the slots? Some people might be given ambassadors and they'll take it, but deep down they'll know that they've been betrayed. So Ruto is now focusing, based on this appointment, on Western and Coast. And I deliberately left out Musalia Mudavadi because Musalia Mudavadi is supposed to be the chief cabinet secretary or chief prime secretary, something. So which means there's a way Ruto has interest in Western Kenya. And of course, I was reading somewhere that someone has petitioned the election of Busia Governor, Dr. Polo Tuoma, and that of Raphael Wanjala. I can tell you, I see the hands of Ruto in those moves. Ruto is keen on Western Kenya, and the first place to disrupt as a president would now be Busia. Then he would go to Budalangi. So that's number two. Ruto is now focusing more on Western. Number three, I think Kenya Kwanza and Ruto had intention of controlling parliament. And that is manifested. You know, if the difference can be 80 in the National Assembly, that's big. If Kingi could get 46, that's big. 46 but out of, are they normally 67 senators? That's big. So which means automatically Kenya Kwanza is enjoying that support and the control of parliament, legislature. Now, you see, we have three arms of government, which is the legislature, which is parliament, which they now control. They have the executive, which now they control, and to some extent, judiciary, which they now control. So it means William Ruto will not have any excuse whatsoever in case his government will fail. He will not be able to blame Raila the way they used to blame Raila for the mistakes. So for me, as much as the new team are complaining, oh, what? For me, I think that was the best thing. Let Kenya Kwanza take control of parliament so that they won't blame anybody. If there's no oversight, let it be. So that's number 3. Number 4, I also tend to think that William Ruto is using this to set pace and project himself as a man of his words. Very few politicians keep their words. William Ruto made the public pronouncement that he was going to support Moses Wetangula for speaker. He has delivered. He also promised Amason Kingi that he was going to give him the speaker of the Senate. He has delivered. So far, William Ruto has made 2, you can in quote, appointment, 2 of them, and he has kept his promise. So that is an assurance, for example, to someone like Musalia Mudavadi, that he should just relax. Ruto is going to give him whatever he promised. People like Kithure Kindiki who are promised. I saw Sonko in William Ruto's office. So basically, that's, for me, is the image which William Ruto is projecting. Because remember, Uhuru Kenyatta failed to deliver some of the promises which they made to people, especially in terms of appointment. And that is something which the DP is not keen on following. And lastly, I also tend to think that the main reason why Ruto appointed the 2 is part of his scheme of taming the Kikuyu nation. If you look at it critically, apart from Rigathi Gachagua, in parliament, they are not there. And someone was even asking me, Lee, what's happening? It's like Ruto is different. He's taking a different approach from that of Uhuru, because he's not even giving the Muslims the opportunities per se. Because, for example, Uhuru gave Duale the chance, and we saw Muslims taking charge, especially the Somalis. What's happening? So unless Aden Duale is going to be made a cabinet minister, the fact that there's no Muslim in parliament and senate is something which, for me, is interesting. But I think it's William Ruto's schemes to tame the Kikuyu nation. I don't know what to think. That's my take. In case you're watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or 2, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.